welcome to my first official reading vlog. Today I thought it would be fun to start my reading challenge of reading only F1 books for a week, as it's currently February 1st and I am craving the F1 experience, even if it's in books with made up people, because I can't wait another month until the F1 season starts. My weekly TBR will be Drive Me Crazy by Lizzie Dent, Off the Grid by Kay Bromberg, which I'm reading on Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited, it's part of a series, so I'm excited for that one. Audio, I'm going to be listening to Cross the Line by Simone Sortani. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but that is on Spotify Premium, so yeah, that is what I'm planning to read. Hopefully I'll get to a few more books, but that is primarily what I want to focus on for the week. So let's get to it. Is giving major pick-me vibes, which I'm not liking. A literal sentence in the book is, "Shopping is dreadful, yes, I'm not normal." Like, girl, okay, but it's fine. She has had some major trauma happen to her. We can all guess what happened, but it's not been explained yet. So she's not like other girls, isn't dating right now, doesn't like shopping, all of that jazz. And then the male character is extremely arrogant, and he is a player, and he is unfortunately going to be the bar guy, I feel. And I'm not excited about that, because one of the reasons I didn't like Throttled, which was my first F1 book I read a few years ago, was because of the main male character being a total dickwad, basically. So I hope that's not what's going to happen in this book. I fear it may be. So far I'm not loving it, if you couldn't tell, but we are only 64 pages in, so got to give it a bit more time to develop. So that's my thoughts on Off the Grid so far. On the other hand, with Drive Me Crazy, I'm 68 pages in, barely a dent, but I'm really enjoying this one. I'm loving the tension. I like the main characters way better. They feel more developed and realistic, and I'm just really liking it. I'm liking the relationship between the main male character and his brother, and I think Noah is a cutie pie. So there's that. I'm liking that the female main character's role she's in a position of power, and I'm liking that because I know how misogynistic and tough the F1 industry is on females. Why did I say females? I hate when people say that. I meant women. And I like that the author isn't backing down from discussing those issues, especially with the guy. I don't actually know what he does. His name is Barry. He's a bit of a brick. We don't really like him, but I like that he is the more stereotypical F1 person you would expect to see in real life. But I like that she's talking about these issues, because it is a real problem that we still sadly face as the human race. Because anyway, but I also like Matt. He's been through it, but he's also being a bit of a prick. But it's fair enough. I can totally see why he's being a prick, but also he needs to calm down a bit. Please and thank you. But those are my thoughts for now. I'm really liking Drive Me Crazy, so I hope it stays that way, and I hope Off the Grid it gets a bit better. So that's that. we last spoke, a lot has happened. I unfortunately had to DNF off the grid because we're reading for fun in 2026, and if I'm not liking a book, I'm gonna DNF it. So I DNF'd it because the man, he was just too degrading. He was not it. He tried to buy her silence or whatever, and he was like, oh, it's okay that we did the dare card because they were probably talking about the size of men's dicks. Like, they don't correlate at all, those two situations, and even if they did, still doesn't make it right. And I'm glad I DNF'd it because I read some reviews after, and there were a few talking about how the book handled the essay, and apparently it wasn't done very well, and that definitely would have triggered me. So I'm glad that I put that one down. I then went on Amazon, searched Kindle Unlimited, downloaded heaps of books about F1, which I'm excited to read, and I started Drive Me Crazy. I know I'm now reading 2 books called Drive Me Crazy, so this is going to be a bit confusing, but there's Drive Me Crazy on my Kindle and Drive Me Crazy in person. Drive Me Crazy on Kindle I am enjoying. I'm on page 65. Like the female main character's voice is very humorous, I guess I'll say. Not the word I was looking for, but I'm good with that for now. I obviously love that she's a writer because because I myself am a writer, and it's fun that she gets to travel with them. That's so fun. The male main character, on the other hand, I'm not enjoying right now. He's giving stereotypical male in a toxic way, which is I'm not enjoying. He talked about the colour of her nipples on page 25. What the fuck? That's so weird. And then he complains about her not spending time with him when he's the one who doesn't want her to spend time with him. You can't have your cake and eat it too, mate. You have to decide, do you want her to spend time with you or not? Because if you don't, she's going to spend time with other people. And she is, and I love that for her. And I want a Theo book because he's Australian and because he's giving golden retriever, and I'm loving that. One redeeming factor about the male main character right now is his relationship with his sister and niece and nephew, and his niece is so cute. She only uses the color orange because she feels bad that it shares its name with a fruit. Isn't that the most wholesome thing you've ever heard? Like, what? Theo has become radicalized because of the female main character, which I'm enjoying because it's bringing light to the fact how sexist F1 is, which the male main character doesn't believe in because he says, excuse me, F1's sexist? Yeah. What? How is that even a question? How you if you've been in any industry, you should know the faults of it and obviously the good things, but like, how are you not aware enough to realize that it's not a nice industry to be in as a female? Oh, why do I keep saying female? Ew. As a woman. But I hope that the female main character is able to radicalize him as well as Theo, because that would be lovely. And I like reading storylines where the female main character radicalizes the male main character to become a better person, even though sometimes it gets annoying because you should be self-aware and you should want to change yourself for yourself and learn for yourself, not because someone else is teaching you. But it's a good first step in the right direction. Drive Me Crazy, I am now on page 88, so I only read 20 something pages last night. Still loving this one, and Barry locked them in a room, which I found hilarious. And yeah, that is all for now. I thought it was a time for another update, so I am on page 191, chapter 26 of Drive Me Crazy Kindle book. I still have a lot of mixed thoughts. I did think about DNFing this one as well, but I'm liking the female main character more than I did in the other one, so I'm thinking I should push through, see how it ends. I'm kind of intrigued, so I'm not on a DNF just yet. But I'm finding the formatting and the pacing quite weird. There's spaces in the book where it looks like there should be paragraph indents, but there's not, and that's kind of throwing me off a bit, and the pacing is just all over the place a bit, so I'm not liking that. There was a Travis Kelce mention, which we love because he's such a sweetie pie, and I'm a fangirl, what can I say? Another thing I appreciate is the therapy normalization and representation, because I love me some therapy. I always appreciate it when it's mentioned in books, especially when they're set in sporty settings, because it needs to be normalized a lot more, especially in sports that are hardcore and whatever. Now, the main issue I have with this book is the male main character. He is just not it for me. He got a podcast staff, which I appreciated, but also you can't buy my love. I still am iffy about him. He also talks about getting her naked and her body a lot more than he talks about getting to know her or her personality, which I don't like. I don't like lustful men. No. It also is very lustful, and then it went straight into him being like, no, I want to date you, but there wasn't any connection between those two. It just went from I want to have sex with her to I want to date her. Now there needs to be more of a bridge, otherwise it feels very badly paced, as I said before. Also, he doesn't know a lot of things that would be seen as a normal thing to know about, like normal references. Like, he knows what a Karen is, but he doesn't know what Hinge is. That doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of things that she's had to explain that are what normal people know, but it doesn't, because he's a famous F1 driver. But I feel like F1 drivers aren't clueless about things that are going on like that. I don't know, maybe that's just nitpicking, but I found that annoying. And going from my beloved series Heated Rivalry to a book like this one, punch in the gut. I miss my gay men. That's crazy to say. I miss my yearning kings. I don't like this lustful thing. Give me the yearning all day, every day. Don't like this part. But that is what I'm feeling for now. I haven't touched the physical You Drive Me Crazy book because I kind of just want to get this one over and done with and then move on to bigger and better things. So that's it for now. So I finished Driving Me Crazy and I have thoughts. He tries to convince her for them to be together by filling a room full of flowers and recreating her death row meal, which sounds crazy, but it's a theme throughout the book. And he called her mum for her grandma's recipe, which I thought was really sweet. Other than that, the rest of the book continued to be a disappointment. Sorry, I know that's harsh, but it's true. They had their first sex scene and she talks about how hard it is for her to orgasm, but of course he magically just knows the right spot and he knows how to do it. And I just hate that in books because it's so unrealistic and it's so unhealthy for people to think that that's normal when it's not. And I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it does. So there we go. I also felt the relationship felt very off page, like we were told a lot instead of being shown a lot, which is why I think I didn't connect with their relationship as much as I could have. Also, the reason, like the main conflict at the end of the book was absolutely horrible. He goes onto a late night interview talk show thing and he tells the world about her sexual assault and she forgives him. Like, oh sorry, as I was saying before being rudely interrupted, I think it's crazy that she forgave him, and she forgave him so quickly after only a week. I don't know, didn't really sit well with me. I did like the whole podcast bit at the end, but other than that, sadly, 2 stars. We're not going well, guys. DNF and a 2 stars. Hopefully the next ones are better. Fingers crossed. Howdy guys, it has been a while since I updated, which hasn't affected you guys, but I didn't update at all yesterday because I completely ran out of storage. And I got a new phone today, so I thought might as well just wait till right now where I can update and film without any interruptions. But since then I've made quite a few changes in my reading statuses. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. I am now on page 230 of Drive Me Crazy. I'm still really enjoying this. Guys, he was her first love, and I just think that's really sweet. And sorry, that was my cat. I don't know if you heard that, but he just sneezed. He's sitting on the floor over there. He's being a bit grumpy. He wants to cuddle, I think. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Archie's a real one for telling Matt the truth about Chloe having a crush on him since like they were kids. And I also am getting fond of Barry. He is just useless, but he's kind of just like he's just a guy. He's just there. He's doing his best. He's got these 2 Dobermans, and I think he's just kind of sweet. So that is all I have to say for this one. For pole position, I'm on page, it's waking up, 280, chapter 23. I'm still also really enjoying this one. The writing is just so much better than the last 2 books I just finished, and tension, the dynamics, everything is just so good. Absolutely eating this one up. Harper had like a crush on Kian as well when he was a kid, and I just think that's so cute. The representation as well is really good, and I'm enjoying that part because I always love me a bit of representation in books. Harper loves control, but he let Kian look after him, and I love that. I don't know what trope that is, but whatever it is, I want more of it because it's just so And then they say they have a treadmill scene, which is exactly like Heated Rivalry, and I was living. So basically this book is amazing. You need to read it right now, and I can't wait to continue it. I also started Cross the Line on audiobooks, so I am on track 9, 15%. So that's fun. I'm loving the narrators. For me, when I'm listening to an audiobook, I listen to it on at least twice the speed, sometimes 2.5, sometimes 3. I'm not normally too picky with narrators because I'm listening to it so quickly, but for this book I'm listening to it on 2.3 and I am loving them. I think they're really bringing to life the characters, which is great. I love that. And I'm also loving the voice of both main characters. They're both very relatable and funny, and the main male character isn't a douche for once, so that's always lovely. Oh, I'm also wearing my Heated Rivalry shirt, so that's fun. Hopefully the quality is a bit better because I did get a new phone, and if it's not, we just got to deal with it. I only have storage, so that's really all the main thing. But that is all for this update, so yeah. Since we last spoke, I have finished both Drive Me Crazy and Pole Position. Drive Me Crazy I gave 3.5 stars, and Pole Position I gave 3.75 stars. With Drive Me Crazy, I just knew from the minute Jack came onto the page that he could not be trusted, so I was waiting for the ball to drop the whole time. And when it did, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Everyone made it seem like it was a massive deal, but I didn't think it was that bad, honestly. I can understand why Matt was upset, but like, it wasn't that serious. I love that Chloe did so well at the investigational. She really needed to believe in herself this whole time, and she finally did, and she did well, so that's slay. So slay. I'm happy that Stravis and Matt finally made up. And then when Matt is like at his race, and instead of thinking about the crash, he thinks about his relationship with Stravis instead, and I just thought that was really sweet. A nice little circular moment, which I enjoyed. And I did really like the ending. I don't know, it didn't give me 4-star vibes, so 3.5 is what I decided on. With pole position, I liked the conflict with the two characters, with one of them being not used to being loved the right way, so he would push anyone away from him when he was getting too close to anyone, but like it was done well and I felt it was quite relatable, so I liked that. And the heated rivalry parallels kept on coming when Kian asked Harper to his cottage. I thought that was really funny. I also started Slipstream. I'm on chapter 6, page 74, and I am liking this so far. I knew that Max was going to be a problem from the beginning, so I wasn't upset with him becoming bad because we barely knew him anyway. I just found it diabolical that he only told her after she had moved her whole life across the country. That's crazy behavior. But I'm really liking the dynamic so far between the two characters, and I always love a good revenge plotline. So that is everything I have to say. Yeah, I can't wait to edit this. It's gonna be so extremely long. I uploaded the clips I've taken so far over the past 4 days onto CapCut, and it was 20 minutes long, so wish me good luck. Also, this fly wants to fight me, actually, like, ugh. Bye. I can't describe his beauty in words or do his character justice in even a whole book. I need an epic series to capture his heart and explain how big it is. It's been a while since I last updated. I can't even remember when I did, but it is now the last day of my challenge and I have a few updates to give you. I have finished Slipstream. I gave it 3.5 stars. The fact that he won the race for her so that they could talk about the deal was really sweet. Max, he was boring me. That whole plotline, didn't really care. And the fact that he still tried to control her after they had broken up is crazy behaviour. Sarah and Lila becoming friends was my favourite part of the book. I just love that when girls can come together and reminisce of their shitty boyfriends, ex-boyfriends. I love that. His uncle almost killing him and doing it on purpose is ridiculous. Like, what? And if you were wanting a slow burn book, this one is for you. They don't even kiss till like 77% in. But I love that. And I found that the ending was quite satisfying, so yeah, 3.5 stars, solid book. Yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. With Crash Test, I am now on page 161, chapter 19, and I don't know if I actually spoke about this. I started this yesterday, so no, I haven't. But I'm loving it. I was gripped from the beginning. The yearning is everything. Guys, this is top tier. This book, I saw ratings of it and people weren't liking it, but I'm loving it. Anyway, the fact that Anthony's family doesn't know what's going on with Travis, but they still wholly, like, they accept him, let him join their festivities, and they support him. It's just so sweet. I love reading about found family in books, and the nurses as well being so sweet to Travis and kind of having an inkling as to why he's there but not bringing it up is I just love it. And then Anthony dies. Why? There was no need for that. On the other hand, Jacob's family is actually the worst. They're actually the worst. Like, they care more about Travis and with Jacob being like bisexual more than they cared about Jacob being awake. And like, it doesn't make sense to me. They're the worst. Heather is a godsend and we love her, but Jacob is actually getting on my nerve. Like, I understand that he like broke it off with him to probably protect Travis, and like he doesn't want to deal with all of that when he's like trying to heal and all that, but he just didn't need to be that mean. He really didn't. It was unnecessary. He didn't treat someone like that. It's crazy. Jacob's internalized homophobia is crazy, but I also understand because his family is the way they are, so I can understand why he acts the way he does. And Jacob was low-key shitty in their relationship, as he likes to say, anyway, so I'm kind of happy that Travis is able to get some space away from Jacob to reminisce on the relationship, to see that Jacob wasn't all that. Like, he was, but like, I don't know, he needs to get his shit together. He really does. And my favorite part is the fact that we're seeing Travis's found family form. I love found family. Most of the time you don't really read about it until it's already formed, but now we get to see it forming, and I'm just like, I love it for Travis. He just loves the world. And that are my updates. That is my update for right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really fatigued of these F1 stories, so I'm low-key happy that this challenge ends today, but I'm also happy that I did it. It was a fun little experiment. Maybe I'll do different ones in the future, maybe ice hockey. I think so. Just finished Cross the Line and I'm giving it 2.5 stars. It was cute, but kind of mid. I literally have nothing else to say on the book. That's how little thought process I had while reading. Guys, it's still preview. I'm getting Jacob's preview and I'm scared. I really hope my theories are right and that he was just pushing Travis away, because if he was doing that to be mean, I'm not gonna like this part. So, fingers crossed. I love Travis, he's so kooky. So, Jacob better be nice. My face when I realised that I'm gonna have to spend time with his stupid family. I don't want to do that. I was having such a great time. Travis was thriving. And he was winning and he was doing great. And now I have to be stuck with Jacob and his stupid family. Travis won. Yay! And now Jacob thinks he's dating Heather. And if that isn't karmic justice, I don't know what is. I am truly living. I'm only 20 pages into his section and I am not having a fun time. He said all those things to Travis because he was mad at him for outing him to his parents, which I understand, but also, what? Like, loving the therapy representation though. But I'm still sad for Travis because that was so uncalled for, all those things he said out of anger, but like, that doesn't excuse the way you treated a partner of a year, you know? Travis has a new guy. We love that for him. But the fact that Jacob could just turn up to his house 10 months later and they'll be making out in an instant. Delulu or what, but now I'm on to section 3, which is both of their POVs, so this should be interesting. Guys, they've done the same fucking thing. Jacob has gone to London and Travis has gone to Albuquerque at the same time. We just miss each other, I swear to God. This is worse than miscommunication. I just need them to talk. Please, please. Also, Travis broke up with his boyfriend and I'm sad about it because it would have been like just a little like F you to Jacob, but Travis is a better person than I am, clearly. Jacob's mum opened the door and she starts having like a fit, I guess. Like, she's acting like he's intimidating her when he asks her 2 questions, and then he's just like, shut the fuck up. It's so good. Jacob is finally standing up to his parents, thank the Lord, and he's moving in with Kelsey what I also really like. Elsie is basically his Heather. And I hope we get more of her because Girlie's a slaying. So I love it. I swear things just keep getting better and better. Ew, why did I use a voice? I don't know. Anyway, Jacob finally told his parents to go away and grow up, and he loved that. And he's now signed with a team. So his number one enemy in the F1 world is now Travis. And I'm eating it up because I love me some forbidden romances with healthy age gaps. That is an important thing to point out because no can do with the unhealthy, toxic age gaps. Anyway, I can't wait to continue this, and I know this is the second book, so I'm even more excited. I'm just nervous because I want it to stay this good, and I hope it does, and I think it will, but we'll see. I only got like 80 pages left, I think. Yeah, I don't want it to end, guys. But it must, so it's okay. The thing we have been waiting for has finally happened, and they have reunited, and everything's back to normal already. After one interaction, don't know how I feel about that, but hopefully they can talk more about everything that transpired before going back to normal, because yeah. Plus, I like that Harper and Matt both like stopped him before he saw Jacob. Before he saw Travis, I mean. That was sweet. I love them both. So, yeah. You know how I said that there was 80 pages left? Turns out it was actually only 50. So I've now finished the book, and I'm very happy with how it ended. Jacob got to meet Travis's found family, and I loved it. And yeah, very satisfying ending. 4.5 stars. Sorry, my dog's just like staring at me. 4.5 stars. I'm going to start the next book soon, probably. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but yeah, I'm gonna start editing this very vlog, which is gonna take me a while, I think. Not everything I just said, because when I updated my Goodreads, excuse me, I realized that the next book is actually a novella, so I ended up reading it and I loved it. It was everything and more. It's called 7 Points, and it was only 100 pages, but it gave me everything. Sophia is a boss queen lady, love her. I love that it wasn't seen as a weird thing for her to be the whatever it's called, the person who calls all the shots and stuff in the F1 team. I can't remember what it's called. I like that it was just normalized, and we didn't really discuss it much other than here's our team principal, that's what it's called, and that was that. Guys, no. Jacob made Travis a scrapbook, and how I yearn for that. How I yearn for it, because he couldn't even say that he was bisexual in the first book, and now he's making a scrapbook for the person he loves. Excuse me, like, that's stunning. And I like that the roles were reversed in this book, where Travis was the one like in power because he had grown in confidence so much, and Jacob was still figuring out how he wants to live his life in a healthy way, and I like that. Also, the epilogue is giving enemies to lovers, and I'm here for it, especially because I always root for the underdog, and I have a feeling that Colin, I think is his name, is going to be a secret sweetheart, and I can't wait to read the next book because I will definitely be keeping tabs on this author from now on. I really enjoyed both of those books. I think I'm gonna give this one 5 stars. I'm not gonna lie, I do cry. New background on vlogs. One of my animals peed on my bed, so we are in my mum's room, but it is time to recap this reading vlog. I've written down here, so if you see me looking down, that is why. First, I read Drive Me Crazy physically, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I then read Off the Grid, which was on Kindle Unlimited, and I had to DNF that one. I then read a different Drive Me Crazy on my Kindle, and that was 2 stars. Pole Position, which was on Kindle Unlimited and was 3.5 stars. Slipstream, which was also on Kindle Unlimited and was also 3.5 stars. Cross the Line, which was on Spotify Premium and was 2.5 stars. And then we had Crash Test, which was on Kindle and 4.5 stars, and 7 Points, which was also on Kindle and 5 stars. So overall, I would say that's a pretty successful reading vlog and first attempt at my reading challenge, which I will definitely be doing a different version in the future. Just give me a bit of time before doing that because this is taking me a long time to do. I also found a new author to look out for when she uploads, so that's exciting. And it was a fun time. Got to immerse myself in the F1 setting while they're on break between the seasons. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Bye!